Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to the start of this week's Fan Fridays on a Thursday, mostly because I'm scared that we're going to get Pokemon news tomorrow. So just in case, I'm going to do Fan Fridays today. Also, because the YouTube algorithm is super screwy, since recently the people at YouTube, they admitted that subscriber burn is real. And also, there's this thing called series burn. So you could watch like every video that a person makes except for one specific kind of video, and that's just going to get blocked out. So Fan Fridays being Pokemon battles every Friday means that, Friday is effectively a dead day. Like, no videos get served on Friday unless you watch every Fan Fridays, and since I do like 3 to 5 a week, it doesn't work out. So subscriber burn is really killing the series, and I think it's pretty dumb for YouTube to do that. But let's go talk about Kenz and his Whiscash now, just kind of filling you in as to why Fan Fridays might be weird until Pokemon, like, picks up again. Because right now, no one's playing Pokemon, no one cares about Pokemon battles, so it's really hard to, like, do Fan Fridays when YouTube is actively killing it. Heliolisk with that Electrify, though, is going to spice things up quite a bit. So that's going to be Mewtwo into the Tri-Attack. After we get an Electrify from the Heliolisk not going to really take too much damage. The Solar Beam looking to one-shot the Whiscash. Not going to work because the Electrify, and Whiscash gets a free turn for the Dragon Dance. Now here's the thing, Dragon Dance, one of the strongest moves in the game. Anything that gives you sweeping stats for free like that is going to be just a little powerful. So Whiscash, one of those overlooked Dragon Dancers, but once it gets to Dragon Dance, it's as strong as any other Dragon Dance Pokemon. So now going for the Psy Strike onto the Whiscash, big hit right there, but Whiscash will find another Dragon Dance, and like Groudon's done. You just keep electrifying, and then nothing's gonna happen. So boom, Heliolisk avoids, Whiscash not gonna be affected, and that's like the craziest thing. Electrify Heliolisk to protect your ground-type Pokemon under support. Don't really see that happen often, but it's working. And now we have the Z move on the Whiscash. Oh, what is this going to be? Oh, we got like the Tectonic Rage. Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, which one did he do? He did like the hand pose on the ground. So you go 2 Dragon Dances into the Z move Tectonic Rage. You one-shot whatever Pokemon you were shutting down, and then the Heliolisk with that Electrify just outspeeds. And then it's a 1v1 effectively. You're making it a 1v1, and if the opponent doesn't focus the Whiscash, then that means it's a 1v0, and Whiscash just kills everything. Or 1v2 or whatever. So now that's a one-shot right there. Groudon, legendary Pokemon, is out of the way. Let's see how +2 Whiscash does against the, whatchamacallit over there, the Deoxys. So, is this a Scarf? Is that Scarf Heliolisk? Like, it has to be, because it's outspeeding everything. So Scarf Heliolisk, just to make sure the opponent doesn't get to do anything, and then it just transitions to this. It's where you can't affect anything. That is pretty awesome right there. And just taking down the Shiny Hacker, full legendary Shiny team. Feels good, man. So the Electrify onto the Poipole. Might as well make sure Poipole doesn't get to do anything this turn, as Whiscash goes for the Waterfall. Going to take down Mewtwo this time. Or not. Wow, I was expecting a lot more damage, but dang, some bulk right there. So Heliolisk going to keep spamming the Electrify. I mean, like, it's also mind games. Like, do we hit the Whiscash, or do we go for the Heliolisk? Like, which one are you going to take? But that's going to be a 2-shot onto the Mewtwo right there. And then Poipole with that Fell Stinger. Going to keep targeting Whiscash, not going to find anything from it. And the opponent is going to forfeit right there. Yeah, it just, like, I'm wondering how much, like, what other support we're going to be seeing. Like, what's that Electivire going to be up to when it comes to this? And then Heliolisk with the Whiscash, pretty strong. Like, I don't really know what to say about this team, because I kind of already said it, and it's just kind of crazy. Like, it describes itself. It plays out by itself, but I feel like there's so much more depth that needs to be talked about with this. With, like, okay, what other Pokemon, just put ground-type sweeping Pokemon next to the Electrify Heliolisk. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, it becomes the 1v1. You shut out your opponent. Also, you can make those predictive plays. Which one's going to target Heliolisk? Which one's going to target the Whiscash? And then, like, oh, okay, how's that going to work? It gets pretty crazy. So let's go and watch how this one plays. Heliolisk with Electrify. Boom, starting off on the Grumpig, because what is Jolteon going to do? Thunder Wave, Heliolisk, that's not how it works, and then that is going to be a Dragon Dance for the Whiscash, as Grumpig is going to go for Psychic. Well, Ooh, targeting the Heliolisk this time. Okay, but then it just becomes a not very effective move. So either way, like, I think that's actually why you can get away with using a Choice Scarf on this. Heliolisk doesn't need to do damage. It just needs the support for the Whiscash. And normally you want to see a Heliolisk on something like a Focus Sash. That way, if it does get targeted, it at least gets to survive. But no, it's becoming a not very effective hit. So it gets double the tankiness. I'm wondering if you, like, max out hit points, max out speed in this case. Even though 150 hit points doesn't look like it's max hit points. I don't know. There's a lot of weird things that are going on right here. So it can be mad tank. It can survive long enough to actually get a lot of Electrifies going. Whiscash then going to go +2 into Waterfall, and the damage will be enough to take out a Jolteon. So I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at right there. You can't do much. And if the opponent leads with electric Pokemon, like, unfortunately the coverage behind Jolteon, not strong. It's like Signal Beam, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice. So it's not going to be too crazy. So the bounce is going to be fancy. Heliolisk, though, will electrify. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even consider that as an option. That is downright wrong and dirty. And you don't even need to use this. Why are you turning this Tectonic Rage into an electric move? What is going on? Also, how does that work with Z moves? But yeah, you could have just Waterfalled, so you get the Electrify into the Waterfall, and now you can actually KO Water-type Pokemon, better damage against Flying-type Pokemon if you don't need it to be supported right there. And then there is an interesting interaction with Electrify and Bounce, Fly moves, and stuff like that. Any move that takes a charging turn, it's actually not going to be affected unless Electrify is used. So say Solar Beam's 2 turns, you use it on turn 1, it's actually still going to be a grass move, so you still have to shut it down on that prediction. Unfortunately, Semi-Invulnerable can't be targeted, so it's still going to take the damage. But within some Blacephalon on the field, hey, let's just outspeed it, let's electrify it. Trick doesn't really matter because Z move, and then Waterfall is going to land on the Grumpig. Not going to be enough to KO, so Whiscash is slightly lacking little bits of damage. Maybe. Like, see, that's where you Tectonic Rage. You Tectonic Rage, guarantee the one-shot, you electrify the water, and then everything dies. So, Electrify, just keep shutting down the Blacephalon. You got nothing to worry about right there. The Fire Blast, alright, cool, insane damage, insane stab, but resisted. And then Whiscash coming in on that Earthquake, and then Grumpig, that's, oh wow, there we go. So Heliolisk goes down to it, but hey, who cares when you get the full field sweep right there, and that is Whiscash just wrecking everything. Okay, I've got some questions, I've got some damage calculations. I'm actually really interested in everything about this now. Okay, so I think this is going to tell a good bit of the story right here. So we have Whiscash, it's only a 60 base speed. And that's why I say, like, you need 2 speed boosts to actually become super competitive with it, because, yeah, that 123 speed at level 50 is going to double to 246, and not many Pokemon are going to be able to have that. So Jolteon, 130 base speed, already one of the faster speed Pokemon, not going to happen. Also, this puts it at a really interesting range with the Heliolisk and stuff, because Heliolisk, 109 base speed, so if you Scarf that, very, very few Pokemon are going to out-Scarf, or like use Scarf on a 109, so that means we have a Landorus coming in. Landorus, that's out, even if it's Scarf Blacephalon, we're going to be able to outspeed that with the Electrify. So because of that, I think the ranges are looking really good when it comes to the Heliolisk, and then I wanted to check out the damage. So yeah, doubling that, what do we get up to? 160, we still outspeed 160. So yeah, just like the fastest Pokemon in the game, we outspeed unless it's a Scarf or Speed Boosted Pokemon that already has more than that. Like maybe a weird Z move for a speed boost or something like that, or just already under Tailwind would be problematic for the +2 Whiscash. That's really it. Like, they have to outspeed boost you to actually catch this, and then the Heliolisk is also going to have a pretty high amount of speed. 177, getting that 50% boost really shows a lot of potential, a lot of promise on just like trying to be one of the fastest Pokemon out there. So really good on that. Unfortunately, the damage feels a little lacking. Like, where is the Whiscash buff? You know, it only has 78 on the attack. Look at how little those stats are. You know, it could have a 85 attack, maybe a 90, get away with that. The 110 hit points, though, with 70 defenses, makes it pretty tanky. So we'll be able to survive hits and then have the good amounts of speed right there. So Jolly nature for that speed, pretty important. But I mean, we could still double a 112 and be just fine when it comes to the amount of speed. That does push our damage numbers up quite a bit. So +2 against a pretty frail, average sweeping Pokemon will be a one-hit KO on that waterfall. So we have 114 right there, and then if it is a Jolly Nature, then that means it is going to go down to still a one-hit KO with 100% chance. Otherwise, higher chances and stuff like that. What about a Garchomp? Garchomp seems to be, you know, just one of those naturally more frustratingly kind of bulky Pokemon. Wow, that's actually a pretty substantial cut right there, you know, +2 attack, even with the adamant nature, not going to look too intense. So yeah, once we double that bulk just on the innate, does get a little harder to KO, but that's still a 2-shot. And then will the Z Earthquake actually be enough to KO? So yeah, the Tectonic Rage, what is that, doubling the damage almost? Yeah, Tectonic Rage pretty much doubles the damage, which means we will find the one-hit KO. So if there's one bulky Pokemon that's just too much, one-shot it. Gone. Done just like that. A lot of the other sweeping Pokemon should be pretty easy to deal with. Tapu Koko will be the determining one right there. So Tapu Koko, level 50... close, but not quite. So yeah, looks like if you can find a +3, you take that, and then you just turn everything into a pretty reliable KO. And then Tectonic Rage still comes through. I really like that Electrify tech, where it's like you can Electrify to get the ×2, or at least turn it into an Electric-type move if you need that, which can be very powerful. Overall, pretty interesting setup. And then with the Heliolisk, I was wondering, like, if we could get anything out of it, but Solar Power, Sand Veil, Dry Skin, none of that really synergizes with what the Whiscash wants to do. Not going to be using like a Water-type move that hits everything. Surf doesn't get boosted by the Dragon Dance, so that's kind of it. So Whiscash looking pretty powerful. I guess if the Pokemon got just the slightest bit of a buff, this would be a lot stronger, but still worked against a hacked legendary team, and then just a pretty standard team overall. So if you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next Fan Fridays.